Howdy folks, Clayton with Hey Boss here. Today in this video we're going to show you how to flip a net on your Hey Boss feeder and also replace a net panel after it's got wore out. You can still keep your same fiberglass rods, any cables that are in good shape. All you need to do is replace your net panel and your the odd cable. So as you can tell in this feeder behind me, I brought one in the shop to show you. This net has been patched quite a bit. It looks like it needs to be patched again at the bottom. But I'm starting to get lots of wear in my cables. I got some that are wore out. So in my tool tube I got a couple spares. On our website you can buy more cables at heybossfeeders.com. But for this net, I see most of my wear is at the bottom. Not much wear is going on at the top. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to flip your net. So after 2 years or whatever of wear, you can flip your net and prolong your net before you have to buy another one. Okay, so in your tool tube, you're going to have your zip ties, a couple spare cables, and there should have been a bolt, a preload bolt here that came that was installed when your feeder was new. So if you don't have one, you can use a screwdriver or just a 1/4 inch by 3.5 inch bolt. So I'm going to go ahead, grab my bolt out of the tool tube. Okay, so I'm going to make sure my locks are up, and I'm going to pull my net all the way out. And if you want help with this, sometimes it's good to have help. Someone can pull the net out for you. I'm going to stand there and put my bolt through the hole on the top of the roller frame, and then I'm just going to line up that hole with the bolt. And once I see that it's clipped, there you go. I got my net unrolled all the way. Preload is held out with a bolt or a screwdriver. You could even use vice grips if you don't have nothing and put it on the disc. Come and undo this Velcro strap. All that does is holds this net angle iron here. This angle iron holds your net together. So you just grab the middle of it, bend it a little bit and pull it out of these brackets. Okay? So now I want to flip my net. When I go to put my Velcro back on, I like to take a little bit of the slack from the bottom of the net and pull it upwards, and then hook it on this little screw here, this little bracket. Then all you do is fish your Velcro in tight against your angle iron. Squeeze your angle iron tight and then tighten up your Velcro. Then you grab your roller, unwind it a little bit, and then pull your bolt out. Voila! That easy. That's how you flip your net. So in like 3 to 5 minutes in the field, you can flip your net. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this net off, and I'm going to show you how to keep my fiberglass rods and replace just the net itself to save a little bit of money. At heybossfeeders.com, you could either buy the full net assembly. That's going to come with new fiberglass rods, new fiberglass rod caps, and brand new cables and brand new net. But it costs more, so what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to show you how to replace the net panel to save a little bit of money. Okay. So we got a standard number 2 net, and it's been on our feeder for a couple of years now, and we're ready to change out the panel itself. So I didn't order a whole new net assembly online. I figured I could save a little bit of money if I just weave in my rods into a new net. So you go on heybossfeeders.com online, you buy yourself the number 2 standard Hey Boss Feeders net panel, and that should fit right on to here. So one thing to know is that all nets, like a number 2 net isn't always the same every time we order it from the factory. So that does, so it's not necessarily means that your old net, the number of squares between your rods is going to match the same as your old net. You might be off half a square, or you might be off, if you order a number 3 net, you might be off 2 squares or something. So I'm going to show you today how to never make a mistake, how it'll always fit. So what you do here is you count your spaces, right? You got your spaces between rods. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to open our, when we're ready to replace it, we're going to open our new panel. So it's nice to do this on a flat surface. If you got a flat deck trailer, a big table, concrete floor, a nice flat surface is going to help you. It's going to be a lot easier. So we're just going to unroll our net. And the next thing I got to do is I got to count how many diamonds I have in this net. So I'm going to start right at the end here, and I'm just going to count. What we're going to do is I'm going to take my cables and my old fiberglass rods out. I'm going to take my handle out and save that, and I'm going to take my angle iron out and save that. And I'm going to weave the rods in the new net panel. But while I do that, or before I do that, or I forgot to tell you, count how many cables you'll need, because if you want to replace some cables while you're rebuilding your net, if you replace any cables that are wore out, it'll be like you have a brand new net. So count how many cables you need, order that with your net panel when you order your net panel from HeyBoss. Okay, so I already counted this one before we made the video, and I'm going to need to change out 10 of them. So I got 10 cables, new net panel, and I'm going to go ahead and start taking it apart. The best way that I found to take these cables off is, this is a little hard on the fingers this way, but you can just push up against the one side of the cable loop, just kind of squeeze the loop and fish it off. Okay, and if that's a little too hard on your fingers, a little O-ring pick works great too. So you just fish it around and pull your cable off the end of your cap. Okay, I counted my diamonds. In my net, I have 48 diamonds. So 48 divided by 8 spaces is 6 diamonds per space. Okay, so if you have 49 or 50, what we'll do is you just leave those that extra diamond out at the angle iron side, at the roller end. Okay, so that's how I know where to fish my rods, my old rods, into my new net. So I got my old rods, and I'm going to fish them. I'm going to start with my handle. Okay, I got my handle in. Now I'm going to count from the very top here, 6 diamonds, and I'm going to weave 1 rod in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the 6th one, I'm going to weave that in. And weave it through every square. Okay, then I'm going to count another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I've weaved my rods and my handle in all my net here, so now I just gotta weave my cables in. So I'm gonna grab my cables. I'm gonna do my handle side first. So this is an older net, and so you'll need rod to handle cables. If you're replacing them, if your old ones are bad, you'll need rod to handle. The rest are just called rod to rod. And if you have a newer style net, you'll only have rod to rods. But this older style, we used to go with like a little keyhole punch out here. And what that would do is you'd fish your cable through it and then slide it down that keyhole slot, and then you could just put some tape on it, a little electrical tape or whatever. Just to hold it from sliding out for when you're assembling, when you're putting your net back onto your feeder. So I'm going to throw those on first, on both ends. Put my tape on so they don't fall off. And if you have the new style, it'll just look like this end. This loop will just slide over this angle iron. This angle iron will be notched to accept this size of loop, same size as the rest, and you'll only need one type of cable. Okay, so you grab your cable, fish it through your net going this way, fish it through every loop. And then when you get to your cable, you just fish it on top. The cables are actually nice and easy to put on. They're a little harder to take off. So you'll notice at the bottom here, or this side is different than that side. You will end up, your rod will be on a knot on this side, and that's just the way the net's made. It has an odd number of diamonds height-wise, and I believe all of ours have an odd number of diamonds height-wise. So on this side, you won't be on a knot, you'll be between two knots on the very edge, and on this one, the very edge will be a knot. So just weave it through every one. On this side, I didn't weave it through the one. I didn't weave the cable through the one. It would have made it too tight. So on this side, I don't weave the cable through. And on this side, I just weave the cable right up to the rod. Okay, there you have it. That's how you change out a net panel on a Hay Boss feeder. We kept our old rods, kept some of our old cables, kept our handle, kept our angle. Took us about, it's going to take you anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to do it, but you'll save quite a bit of money by doing that. And now you have your old net. You save your old net, cut it into chunks or whatever, and use that for patching this net, and you should be good for another 2 to 4 years, maybe 5. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how to just install it on your feeder, and we should be good to go. Okay, so I got my new net panel on my old rods, and I'm going to install it on this feeder. I see that I got it preloaded with this preload bolt here, so there's spring tension on the roller already. When I fish my angle iron through, I'm going to put my angle iron between the frame and the roller. And then on this particular case, the new ones you won't have to worry about this, but on this one, if you have a cable that goes into the side of your angle iron, I just make sure that that cable is going towards inside the feeder, so it doesn't look something like that, it looks like nice and clean like that. So you just grab the bottom of your angle iron, put it in your bracket, bend your angle iron a little bit, and put it in your top bracket. Pull your net up high. If you have slack at the bottom, I usually take half of that slack and then I just put it in the middle. I just hook it on this little screw here, this little bracket. Then I will fish my Velcro strap, retaining strap, right tight to the roller. I don't like grabbing too much net with my Velcro. I like it right up against the roller. Then I just squeeze my net, tighten my strap, fish it around, go and hook my handle. I'll twist my roller a little bit with my hand, stand up, grab my bolt out of the roller, and let go. And there you go, you got a new net and you're good for another 2 to 4 years or more.